Joined now by head coach Nate McMillan. Coach,
Talking about injuries?
well, we're talking about Thaddeus Young and how much better his wrist looked.
All right.
Injuries in the past.
Thought we had everybody pretty clear to go tomorrow, so, okay.
No, we were revisiting.
Okay.
No need to be alarmed.
All right.
So we're at Media Day now. Training camp will start tomorrow. What's the level of intensity as we have gotten to this point? I know we've had guys working out here throughout the last month or so. What kind of things have led up to this moment?
Well, we talked to our guys. I sent out a letter back in July, talking about conditioning and, really playing as much as possible. We wanted to try to get our guys back in Indiana as soon as possible. For the most part, we've had our young guys in since mid-July, right after summer league. They took a week off, and they came back and started working on strength and conditioning, playing a little bit more basketball in August, and we really encouraged all of our guys to get back as soon as possible, to play as much as possible. With this short preseason, this year, the season for us starting mid-October the 18th, it's going to be very important that conditioning, our guys come in pretty good shape. They're not going to be in game shape, but they need to be in pretty good shape because we just don't have much time before opening night to get ourselves ready. Only 4 preseason games, so pretty much our rotation will play most of those games, and you will be working on a rotation right from the start. But we've had most of our guys in, and the guys that came in a little late, we know that they have been playing basketball. So excited to get started tomorrow.
We were talking about this before you got here, the transition, which is always interesting because you never come back with the entire same roster. But even by that standard, this is a high number of new guys.
Yes.
Now, you've been around for years as a player and a coach, and I'm wondering, A, if this is unprecedented to you, have you ever seen a transition with this many new guys coming in? And B, as the coach, how does that affect, if at all, the way you go about your business in the preseason?
No, I have never, seen a transition like this. We could be coming into this season with 9 new faces on our roster, and we certainly will. We know for a fact that there will be 3 new faces in that starting lineup. So it is a major change, and I know teams and coaches, they say this all the time, but I'm really excited about what has happened, and the team that we've assembled. Going into this training camp, I think we're going to have some guys who present hustle and heart out on that floor. I think we have a lot of guys that they have something to prove. Some guys are in their prime. We have some young players as well as a few veterans. So a good mixture of players. But really, I think we have hungry guys that will be on this roster. I feel we're going to be much faster and much more athletic than we've been in the past. So excited about it. Even though there's been a number of changes, we're really excited about the direction we're going.
You could make a case at each position in whatever your starting lineup is going to be that there's a player behind whoever would start that theoretically could start. How important is it to you to come to a starting 5, and how quickly do you look to make that decision?
Well, I have in mind, a starting 5 and a second unit, but just as you've mentioned, our guys who are coming off the bench are capable of starting, and I expect to have a very competitive training camp, and nothing will be given. We're going to have guys who want to play and are capable of playing, and we will put our guys out on the floor. We'll come up with a starting unit and a second unit, but it will remain competitive, I think, throughout the season. The fact that we want our guys to compete against each other and play for minutes, but we also want to understand and remind them that we are in the same uniform, and we're playing for the same goals. So I expect a very competitive training camp. With our guys, I feel we are deep in that sense that we do have 2-3 players at every position.
What do you want to do, Nate, in terms of style? Because we know that it's dictated to a degree by personnel. Will this team play differently than last year's team did?
I think so. I think, really, I've looked at our numbers and, a lot of the things that we did last season. And, really, this is a brand new year for us, as far as this roster that we have this season going into training camp. We don't have an all-star. The way we want to play defensively, I feel that we can get after teams. We still have to be a team that gets better at rebounding the ball. I think if we can rebound the ball and focus on forcing turnovers, that we can get out and play a little faster, put speed out on the floor, and be able to commit to that style because of the guys that we have brought in. I think, with this group, as I mentioned, we don't have an all-star. One or two of our guys in the next year or two needs to be playing or becoming an all-star for us, I think, in order for us to have success going into the future. And it's very similar to years ago when Paul George came in. When I was in Portland, I had Brandon Roy and LaMarcus Aldridge, young guys who have the potential. We feel we have guys who have the potential. Now they must develop into, some of the top players in the league.
Who would those guys be?
I think you certainly have to look at Victor. I think you have to look at Miles Turner. I think you have to look at Lance Stevenson. I think those three guys are very capable of becoming all-stars, one day in this league, and they have the potential to do that. We've talked to them about their development and their growth and things that they need to do to improve their game, and they certainly have to continue to work on it. But I think those are the three guys that I could see. Thaddeus is very capable, but on our roster without any all-stars, I feel that a couple of our guys need to be playing that style of basketball where people are at least talking about them at the end of the year becoming an all-star.
Indiana Pacers head coach Nate McMillan, we appreciate you stopping by and your insight, and good luck. Looking forward to the season ahead.
Thank you.